And so this is it, the final chapter of this course. I'm so happy that you made it this far and just, wow, I can't believe this is it. Like, I put so much energy and so much time and just so much of myself into this project, into this information, into the pre-production, the production, the post-production of getting this content to you. And I'm so excited that you made it this far and that you now have all of the knowledge that I know that now you have to create what you want. So what we're gonna be doing is recapping the information that we've gone over before getting into the bonus section of the course. Now, I can't recap everything, but there's just a few key reminders that I wanna give you, and we're gonna do an overview. If I recapped everything, this would be a very long lecture, so let's check it out. First, we dove into our camera settings. We started off by really getting on-set experience, seeing how things work behind the scenes, and then seeing how we can use our camera's settings and functions to really get the best looking and sounding footage and audio as possible. Then we got into the film techniques. We worked with Kimberlea and we got to see how to get the best looking and sounding video in natural light, in artificial light, with all the different lighting scenarios and all the different types of environments to shoot in. We went over a bunch of other really important and essential film techniques and applied those techniques into the hands-on learning exercises, and you got to upload your before and after shots and share them in the Q&A section. That's when most people would be done and satisfied with their video, but we took things even further. We dove into audio and B-roll, using cutaway shots, using all the different kinds of framing, shot types, camera movement, creating a montage, carving out your story by adding in a lot of cutaway shots, putting your ideas into a shot list, and getting crystal clear sounding audio. Then we synthesized all that information, all the audio, all the video techniques, and gathered them together so that now you have all the tools that you need to continue to go out and create, to take your ideas and turn them into videos that you are proud of. Whew. And now that we've gotten this far, I now have a challenge for you. Is for you to take all of these techniques and really apply them. I don't want you to be excited and having fun during this course. Well, I do want that, but I want you to continue to expand on that excitement and that information and that new knowledge beyond this course. So I want you to take the camera settings, using proper exposure and settings for your environment, the framing, the creative use of framing, with the specific purpose in mind of what the emotion is that you want to create in your audience, using focus, right? Guiding the viewer's eye to where your story is being told. Using great background choice for your specific video to create a specific vibe. And using movement, one of my favorite parts, creating the right feeling with consciously moving your shots. And using those different shots as a good mix of different types of framing. Blending those different ideas together to get really good different types of A-roll coverage and B-roll coverage. And of course, using great lighting. And lastly, sound, getting clean and crispy quality sound from your subject or your environment. And I want you to take these ideas and continue to create, but specifically create a new series or a big video project. So take these ideas and take these techniques that you learned and really step out of your comfort zone. Create something unique. Create something that is uniquely you and uniquely yours. And the other courses in this series will help you with coming up with that idea or editing that video or really going out and creating that series. So I'll give the details to that as well in the final bonus lesson. But most importantly, be sure to share your progress with me on Instagram and in the Q&A section. Nothing makes me Well, I really love coffee. It makes me pretty happy. But mostly, nothing makes me as happy as seeing your upgraded footage, your upgraded shots, your new projects. And I love when you keep me updated on, you know, the stuff that you create after you take the courses. So be sure to tag me on Instagram, be sure to keep me in the loop, and be sure to really show me what you do after this course. And so we're nearing the end here. I'm sad, but I'm excited for you as well. But in the next learning lessons, I'm gonna give some special bonus giveaways for you making it all the way through the course. Specifically, it's gonna include some techniques for shooting on your laptop, some expert advice from a filmmaker friend of mine, and links, like I mentioned, to my other courses that are connected to this course. So enjoy and always keep creating. Always keep growing. Always keep moving forward. Always keep following your passion. Thank you so much for going on this journey with me, for listening, for taking in what I'm offering and really allowing this connection to happen. And I truly, truly am grateful for you. And I'm so excited that you are now a graduate of this course. Thank you. Now, because of the situation of what the whole earth is going through with this whole COVID thing, and so many people are using their laptops, I wanted to kind of add a little bit of a bonus lecture around getting a better looking video with your laptop, whether that's a Zoom call, a FaceTime, Google Hangout, Skype session with clients, with friends, with family, whatever it is. I'm gonna give you some principles that you can use that from here on out after this course, all of your laptop videos are gonna look way better. So let's first start with me sitting down here. Okay, now the reason I'm gonna face this way is because there's already decent light coming from this main light source, which is this window that's directly across from me. Now, with video on your laptop, it's really similar to your phone and in general, where you wanna have things as close to eye level as possible. This is honestly a little bit low for my liking. It should probably be something like that. You can feel that this feels a lot more presentable than this. This is a lot more casual. You're not really setting things up. If this is you and your family, that's totally fine. I want to get this a little bit higher, so I'm just gonna grab a prop in the house that I can easily use. Now, this is not a step that all people should need to take, but this is just a little extra step that whether you're doing this professionally or with friends and family, this will give you slightly better of a looking image on your laptop. So the next thing that I want to do is, because I already have a decent main lighting source, I want to get the exposure down behind me because this is all blown out and the image is very grainy in the darks and around the image, around the frame. Something you really have to keep in mind with laptop videos when you're streaming or doing one of these Zoom calls is that you don't have the type of quality to work with that you have on a DSLR or more professional camera, or even the iPhone quality is gonna do so much more. So you really have to take a few extra steps to make this look good, which the next step is gonna be getting the exposure behind me down. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, and you can see that it's a lot cleaner of an image. So if you go to the before and the after, so you can see pretty well lit. Of course, it's a little bit grainy. There's not much we can do about that. It comes down to the quality of the camera on our laptop, which the quality is not that good most of the time. One last thing that I wanted to actually add that we have available in this kind of situation is adding practical lights in the background. Like you probably already know by now in this course, this is one of my favorite things. So it's an okay looking image, a little bit dull, but we're gonna really make things look a lot more stylized by adding on these practical string lights in the background. Let's see what that looks like. I love these lights. Voila, as you can see, a lot better looking of an image. Now, something to keep in mind before I wrap up this lecture is the video or the camera inside the laptop is always recording on auto. So it's kind of getting confused by these lights in the background, and I can see the exposure kind of changing. So stylistically, it looks really nice, but it's also, yeah, there's a lot of ISO kind of issues and some digital noise going on and whatnot, but this is just a little extra step for your laptop videos. And so I also kind of wanted to touch on, what do you think has been, what would you tell yourself filming wise or maybe camera wise or equipment wise 3 years ago that you know today? Like, Vlats, 3-year-old Vlats, don't stress on the equipment, or, maybe step this up, or what do you think that would be?
I remember thinking that if I had a better camera, I could be a better filmmaker. Yeah. And that's not true. Like, your cell phone is a super powerful machine to record video. You have slow motion, you have HD video, you have a lot of tools there at your hand right now. That belief of like, this is not enough, I wish I could have switched it to how can I take the most out of what I have. That's like one of the things I would have told myself 3 years ago. Gear, obviously if you have a red camera, you can get different kind of results and better results for certain situations. But having the ability to take the most out of what you have right now, that's an important way of thinking, especially when you're starting. I remember taking the most out of my 60D. It wasn't because I was having the mindset of taking it to the most 100% of the camera. It was here, after having it for 5 years, that I took the time to, okay, I'm gonna check on YouTube what are the best settings, and I actually was getting better footage after having it for a long time than when I just got it when I was back in Colombia. And that's crazy if you think about it. If it happened to me, that can happen to a lot of people. You might have a really good camera, but you're not taking the most out of it because you're not reading the manuals, you're not looking on YouTube for tutorials on how to set it up correctly. I wasn't taking into consideration the frame rate, like the 24 frames per second. I was shooting in 60 sometimes, and it looks so bad. And that's pretty much it sums, and that's the result of doing the hard work and doing the homework of researching. And that's so important. I wish I would have taken more time into educating myself. I would be so far a better filmmaker right now if I would have taken the time and the money to invest in education. That's the only way to get better in filmmaking.
I love that, because what I hear when you're saying that is I don't want to use the word mastering, but getting really comfortable with the fundamentals. Right? The fundamentals. There's only so many variables on a camera. There's only so many ways you can move the camera, set up the camera, like we talked about in the course, tripod shot, gimbal shot, handheld shot. There's only a handful of different parameters for all these different things. Of course, there's complex different additions of equipment and settings and all these things. But it comes down to mastering the fundamentals, as if you were a painter that knows the paintbrush really well and understands the coloring really well and the canvas really well, and then creates all these different landscapes and different types of art. That is really a big part, is really those fundamental areas. What do you think was that? Because it can be easy to say, like, don't worry about the equipment as much. I love what you're saying about maximizing what you do have, because it's a totally different mindset. I want that, or how do I make what I do have actually better or the best it could be? So you're going into research mode, you're going to experiential mode, making mistakes. What was the shift that made you able to integrate that truth versus just say, don't worry about the equipment. Because I think sometimes, even when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, but it is, yeah and no. But what was that shift for you? That now you would say, I wish I could tell myself 3 years ago, well, this is the realization.
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to results. Like, I know people who invest in really expensive cameras and they don't use them, they don't utilize all the tools that come with it. It comes down to, for me, it's how bad you want it. And for example, just to take an example, Instagram. You can make so many good videos with just your cell phone, or TikTok. You can make the best content pretty much with any cell phone right now. And it comes down to creativity, to what you have here. Cameras, gear like tripods, lights, a better lens. That's a plus, like that's a tool that you have. And it's cool. I mean, I wish I could have like the best camera, the most expensive one, the best lens like array, cinema cameras. But at the end of the day, this, what you have here, is what translates into making the bridge to build that dream that you have and make it come true. And eventually you'll have those cameras, you'll have those lenses. But it has to be a process, and you appreciate everything more when it costs effort and you have to go through the phases of, okay, I don't have that camera, I have this right now, what can I make out of this? And people, even if you think they don't notice or they're not watching, people can tell if you are a creative person. And there are so many examples of that on YouTube, on the internet, of people like retweeting. The thing is that one video can change your life. And probably that one video was more creative than gear-based. So have that in mind. You can, and one thing that I think it's amazing about the creative world, taking music into consideration and filmmaking, is that you can try 99 times. And those 99 tries can be awful. Awful songs or awful videos. But one video, one piece of content, like one song or one YouTube video or one TikTok or one Instagram video, can change your life. And sometimes it doesn't come down to what camera you're using, what super expensive lens you're using, super crazy lights and sounding and software and etc. It comes down to the creative ability that you have to put what you have in your mind to reality. And that's crazy. It only takes one piece of content to change your life.
What are, some of the habits, routines maybe, that you do to really work on this creative muscle to make you a better filmmaker, or that's maybe brought you the business success that you have today? How do you want to, where do you want to take that?
Yeah, I'm always checking on all platforms. I'm following the video creators that I like, and I try to take all the tricks, because there are no tricks, it's just habits. And for example, there's one dude on Instagram, he used to do the sickest stories with handheld transitions, and he put the transitions and then he explained every day how he did it, and it's no crazy editing. It was just his cell phone and he was doing the transitions like handheld, and pretty much came down to the ability to do everything on set, not so much focused on the editing like post crazy CGI stuff. No, it was pretty much just thinking ahead of what you're going to shoot, and something so simple like as an Instagram story, but making it the best. And I was like, wow. For Instagram stories, which are like, you don't see them after 24 hours. So the amount of work that you're putting it's not gonna be able to perpetuate after 24 hours. That's huge. I mean, if somebody's working so hard, I was like, okay, that's, I like that way of thinking. What if I put the same amount of effort in every piece of content I make? It doesn't matter if it's editing, but what if it's a 15-second clip? What's the best I can bring to it before, during, and after the shooting? That helped me a lot, like to take that approach of, okay, let's make it better every time. What can I add? How can I make it 1% better than the video I edited or the video I shot before?
That's a huge, I like that perspective because, yeah, I feel like for myself, when I stopped trying to make, well, it's kind of interesting. When I stopped trying to make this next project the masterpiece, even though I was pouring all my energy into it, when I started to release more content on a more frequent basis, but try to more improve versus this is gonna be the video that I'm the most proud of and that is this and that and this and that, that would keep me stuck in the creative process. The expectation and really the perfectionism of editing maybe a video 2 weeks, a week longer than needed, but really making this one is 2% better, 2% better, 2%, than trying to make this final one that somehow I arrive at this amazing video creating arrival or completion, and just kind of letting go of that need, and that desire, but really keeping track of progress and wanting to make it more interesting as I go and try new things, and really pouring myself into it. But it's something to think about, is pouring yourself into your project in a balanced way, whether that's you filming on set or you coming up with your ideas. Give it your energy, but don't think that this is the destination. I think that's what I'm trying to say here. The destination is far in the future. Let that be. The video that you're working on now is the next step of something that you don't know possibly where it's leading, but you're going in a direction. So I think that's, when you were saying that, that was bringing that memory up in me. That kind of was a good shift for me as well, to kind of really change gears and be more creative and have more output. There was a video, I was filming, and DJ Jazzy Jeff, he's just like full of friggin' wisdom, man. Everything he says just sounds so epic. And he said, you need to die empty. And when I heard that, I was kind of like, whoa, that sounds kind of harsh. What he was saying is, you don't want to die with anything left in the tank. You don't want to die with anything left on the hard drive. You don't want to be a musician or a filmmaker with all these projects stuck on your laptop and stuck on your hard drive that doesn't get released because it's not perfect or good enough. You want to blow through all that stuff and get it out and put it in the world and shoot it and edit it and create it and go. Die empty. Die with it all out in the planet. You know what I mean? And that kind of connected with a few other realizations and was a really big, I think, milestone and a stepping point for my personal filmmaking creation process.
One of the things that I realized is that you don't think about it, but like every successful YouTuber or video creator or artist, they start from zero. They just pressed record and put it online, and the first video, for the most part, probably will suck. Or the first movie or the first documentary that you make, it's probably gonna suck. But like, if you keep working on it, when you have 25 videos, 50, when you put on the work and you get to 100 videos, that one probably is gonna look a lot better. And because you've put on the hours, people are going to follow and come to your channel. Eventually opportunities are going to come and collaborations are going to open because you have a portfolio and you've got the experience. And that's something that's so hard to do, because usually perfection is not something people are like having in mind when they're doing things, but that's hiding something else. It's like the insecurity of what people are going to think of if I've put this video online, it's not perfect, I could have done this and that. But at the end of the day, people are not gonna care for your first video, even if it's super perfect. Eventually there are some weird cases where people blow out from first videos, but you have to work, and it's a process. It's not a one video kind of stuff, it's a process. And when you think and when you do it from that perspective and you're playing on the long run, you enjoy it way more, and you start like having fun.
You know, I love basically the advice you gave. It wasn't on the technical side, it was much more on the human side. I love that, because I think, you know, we can go on those YouTube rabbit holes where we're just going on these like technical video tutorials and not really taking a look back and seeing the bigger picture of, wow, okay, am I being joyful while I'm creating? Am I balancing my desire to shoot videos with my joy and not burning myself out, and actually smiling during the process? So I love the fact that you brought up that side of filmmaking, because I don't think that's talked about a whole lot. But with that said, is there any other kind of words of wisdom that you would like to impart?
Definitely. You just need to press the record button. That's the most important step. You just have to start. After you start, you've done the hardest step. The hardest step in filmmaking is starting to shoot, to press the record button on your camera or your cell phone.
Love that. Oh man, I think I'm gonna get that tattooed on my... Love that. Well, thank you so much, Vlads, for sharing with you. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to shooting more and continuing this process. So thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me. I hope to see you soon, man.
All right, thanks, man. Perfect. And here we are. Oh man, the final lecture. They grow up so fast. Oh man, it's been such a joy teaching and sharing this information. I know I've said it like 1,000 times in these final few lectures, but I can't help it. So I hope you enjoyed that discussion with Vlads. I hope that gave you some insights and maybe some key final little ingredients, a little extra icing on the cake for you to walk away with. So to help further build on your creativity and overall video success, because that is the purpose of these courses, I'm gonna leave you with the links to these other filmmaking courses. So the first one I'm gonna link to is the Better Videos Blueprint course. Now, this is really gonna help you with the idea phase and the pre-production phase. This course is designed to help you get the idea that's in your mind out of your head, organize it, get it written down, get it really structured and concrete, and then translate that creativity into an actual video. And next is the Complete Filmmaker Guide course. This is much more focused on the filmmaker approach. The course that we just went through was a much more video creator approach, how to shoot content using the most important information and applying that to your smartphone or camera. The Complete Filmmaker Guide course is a lot more of a deep dive into theories, principles, golden rules as a filmmaker that you use to further tell your story. So that one's a lot more focused on the filming and editing principles, theories, and techniques. Next up is the Become a Full-Time Filmmaker course with Phil Ebner. Now, this is a course mainly focused on once you know how to create a video, then how the heck do you make money doing it? So this is gonna be a course a lot more interesting to the person that wants to turn their video creating hobby into more of something that you could potentially make money as. whether that's creating content for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. This course is really gonna show you how to talk with your client, how to get contracts together, and really a lot more of the business and logistics side of turning your passion into more of a career. And that wraps it up for the final lecture of this course. So now it is your turn to go out and create and really share your gift, your uniqueness, your creativity, and your videos with the world. So be sure to tag me in all of your posts at Julian Discovers on Instagram. That's the best way to really get my attention, stay in touch with me, stay updated, and share the projects that you're working on. So thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm really looking forward to seeing the work that you share with me, and I will see you in the next course. Cool, so levels are good? I always want to say okay, so, but I notice I always say okay. And then I'm like, all right. So I'm like, damn. It's so hard to not to start a new lecture or sentence without so. Like, so here we are, and that's so easy. I don't know how to not do it. Okay, so, okay. So here we are. Oh, that the viewer will subconsciously pick up on. So you guys so you're seeing, then we're gonna go into actually, Hola, bonjour, ¿cómo estás? Welcome. Cinco. Then if this one, I could just see. Oh, money. Okay, we off. No, wait, no, we need a better ending than that. Do you want to say anything?
No, not really.
I think we're good. Let me think. Is the exposure okay out here? Living spaces. Okay, ready? And so that wraps it up for this part of the course. In the next I don't know what the next lecture is. La 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 la, la 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 la. What are these called? Vlads, what are these called? What are these called? It's not a mural, it's a, what is it? With that said, let's get into the edit. No, wait, no. It's not an edit, we're not editing. Well, I stopped wearing the button-up damn shirt because sweat stains. And I was on a date once with the damn button-up, and I was like, I did this, and then she was like that, and I was like, oh.
My first prom.
What do you think? Let's angle the laptop so that it's kind of
like that.
Like kind of angle them. Well, actually, no, maybe it looks better. This is going in the bloopers. I think it'll cut together. It's gonna cut together. But this was, I was like, actually hard to shoot.